Hi, this is Paul from Rock and Ridge, and today we're going to look at the 5 key things to remember when building a belay. So for this we're going to use a little acronym called IDEAS. It's been around for a while, but it's quite a good thing to remember, or just to have in the back of your mind when you're setting up a belay, like this one we've got here. Eventually this will just become second nature and you'll just think, yeah, okay. So the first letter I want to look at is I, and that stands for independent. So if we take a look at the little setup here we've got, so we want the anchors to be independent of each other, and what that means is if we look here, we've got one anchor here to my right, and that's in a separate crack here, or a separate break should I say, and then on the left here we've got another wire which is in a separate crack. So these are basically independent of each other. So rather than ramming all the gear into one break or one crack, basically putting all your eggs into one basket, we're being safe because we're using 2 independent anchors which are in 2 independent pieces of rock. Move on to D. So D stands for directional. So if we look here again in this example, we want these to be directional. So basically what that means is I'm belaying here, the climber or seconds coming up as I'm looking here. So rather than being fixed and not being able to move, do they give a little bit of movement? So can you actually move with them in relation to where your second and the climber's coming up? So E stands for equalise. So this is probably one of the most critical points that I see a lot of climbers getting wrong, and it's also one of the most critical points to get right, is that you want them equalised. So rather than having like 70% say equalised on this anchor and 30% on this, we want 50-50 in an ideal world. In this example we've got equalised anchors, so 50% on each anchor. If we had 3, we'd just make sure that would just equalise all 3, whether that's with a rope in this case or with a sling. But we'll be looking at that in another video, how to build anchors and how to equalise anchors. So A stands for appropriate. So what does that mean? So are these anchors appropriate for where you're stood and where your climber and second is going to come up to you? So it's in this case we're here, climber and second is going to come up to here. There's no point in having an anchor all the way over to my right or all the way over to my left and then coming back to this point and then realising that it's not appropriate, it's not in line with me. Okay, so are the anchors appropriate? Are they in line with you? So think anchor, belay, climber. And then the last letter stands for S, for safe and secure. So safe and secure, we can just double check everything. All the anchors are in, everything's equalised, gates are nicely done up, back into the harness with a couple of clove hitches in this example here. So everything's done up and nice and safe and secure, ready for when your climber second comes up to you. Okay, so I hope that's been of use for you. That's something to bear in mind, the IDEAS model. Eventually it'll just become second nature, like I say, and you'll just come up and you'll do all these things, bish bash bosh, you'll sort everything out. But as you go in, you can kind of just have this in the back of your mind just to check, particularly for new climbers and people just getting into the sport. If it's been useful, please subscribe, check us out on the website. We're